Hello everyone, welcome back for some cross-country flight. Today we will be entering the state of Texas. I won't say it in the weird accent until the Texas hype starts going around. Our destination airport is, well, I just told you, Texas. We're entering it this episode, and our ending town was down farther, it's in the W's. W-I, W-I-N, W-I-N-O, there it is. And we're gonna go to K Ranch. Actually, no, we're gonna go to Travelstead Field. Change my mind. Cruising altitude is set. Move the aircraft, and now time to fly. Now lower the altitude. Ever too loud. Must stay there. Now the game's gonna load, and we're going to head over and take off. So yeah. We'll just wait here quietly. Not saying a word about too much. Here we are at the Arcadia Bienville Parish Airport. That's where we are today. Now we're gonna turn on some lights. No flaps. I'll show you the route that we'll be flying today. Over to 98 Tango Sierra, which you can see is right there. Anyway, I believe now it's time to get out of here. So I'm going to go into this view. We're going to get out of here. So first, I'm going to check this out. So we're going to be taking off out of runway 14, which is over there, and it's going to be in a southern direction, which is why we have to back taxi. So let's back taxi. I'm not gonna back taxi. We're flying into a crosswind, kind of, so we have to. Then I'm gonna deploy some flaps so that we can slow down. Alright, so I'm just gonna glide off the runway here. Go back into the cockpit and release the flaps, or put up the flaps, because we don't need them for the flight. They'll just slow us down. We don't need that. We are now at runway 14. I am now going to throttle all the way, and we're going to take off. So since we'll be taking off in a southerly direction, we're going to need to make nearly a we're going to need to make a near 180 upon takeoff. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to lower the throttle a slight bit and increase that. Rotate. Pull this way. Go till we get to the end of the north bug, and then we'll pretty much be good. We just need to be high above the trees for now until we get to the highway. Alright, so we'll turn to about here, then we'll jerk the yoke that way, and go search for the interstate. Once we get to the interstate, I'm gonna pretty much just dive down. Well, first we gotta get out of these trees. Louisiana is a foresty place. try to find the interstate. I think I just found it. Try to find it. There it is. Goes this way. And we're nearly about to smash into this not control tower, cell tower. So we're gonna have to tilt the yoke this way, and I'm gonna cut the throttle now. And I don't want to get too low to the ground because the last 2 times I tried that, we crashed. So let's get to this view so you can see. I'm gonna put it on about 65% throttle as we make this turn. Then pretty much we can go to the normal 95% throttle. Alright, so now we're on the highway. Nearly noon. As soon as that thing gets to noon, we're going to start our Elizabeth Tower imitations. But for now, I'm just going to say that now it's time to turn on some other lights. So we'll start talking a little bit, but first I've got to say, we are Texas bound. So let me just check out the map, see how much we have until Texas. We have 56 minutes before our arrival in Texas. And but 20 seconds till noon time, so as soon as that happens, we're going to start counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bing. 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 Was that 12? It was 11 or 12. I lost count. But you know what? It means that it's 12 o'clock and my Elizabeth Tower imitations are not cool at all. So if you're a resident of London and you're used to hearing Elizabeth Tower going off all the time, and then you heard me and you thought this person's a lunatic, please. Anyway, I'm gonna cut the throttle now because we are way too low. Don't want to hit that tree. I need to lose some altitude, but not too much. 95% throttle, and that's good. So, as we cruise through the air, it's time to talk about some stuff that we need to talk about. For example, when is Euro Truck coming back? And I have to say, that's a great question. It is definitely not happening this weekend. The blog is not happening this weekend. I'm telling you, it isn't because, well, Steam support still hasn't gotten back to me. In fact, they took so long to get back to me that my ticket has pretty much been erased from Steam support. So I think that it's my duty today I'm gonna tell them, alright, so on my Euro Truck Simulator 2 disc, I have the ticket number of the last ticket, because I wanted to write down what it was so that I could send a picture of it there, of the code, but it didn't work, because, Wi-Fi where I live sucks. Luckily, the games that I play don't need Wi-Fi. On this thing, at least. On the computer, at least. Any other game that I play besides American Truck Sim, Flight Sim, OMSI, Christmas Shopping Sim, any game besides that needs Wi-Fi. It just needs Wi-Fi. Nearly any game. Fooling around games don't necessarily need it. Blah, blah, blah. But any game on this computer never needs Wi-Fi, except for YouTube, which isn't a game. It's a game of popularity, which I have not won in yet, and neither do I care if I won in it yet. Because that stuff is just not stuff we need to talk about at this moment in time. YouTube is not a game. It's a game of popularity. And how PewDiePie is the most subscribed channel on YouTube, and how Gangnam Style got to 1 billion views, blah blah blah. And then try to figure out who has the best video of milking themselves or chugging down a 50-ounce bottle of water. Okay, that's probably, yeah, 50-ounce bottle of water. Or how many scorpions can you eat in 30 seconds? For me, the answer would probably be 0. Because scorpions don't live here, where I live. They live down south in Florida. They probably live here in Louisiana, too. Maybe not. You live in Louisiana and you know about tarantulas around here? Leave a comment. Tell me if there are scorpions here. Did I say tarantulas? Sorry, I meant scorpions. I seriously can't wait to find out how different Louisiana is from Texas. Or, I'm sorry, Texas is from Louisiana. Two totally different things. Louisiana is different than Texas because it has trees. Texas is different than Louisiana because it has desert and plains and boring land. We'll probably be sitting here bored for the next few hours of gaming episodes. That we just have to sit here just flying, slightly turning the yoke, or the joystick every time I want the yoke to turn, blah blah blah. It could get boring after a while. You know, that's just how it goes. That tree that doesn't have any leaves on it, just that tree back there. But that could also be something that makes it weird. And to continue about YouTube, YouTube is not a game, it's a game of popularity. Who could eat the most scorpions, who could eat the most cicadas, who could eat ladybugs and maggots. Don't ask me what else they eat. Before we know it, they're gonna start eating dirt and worms with Ebola or something like that. It's just gonna get insane after a while. Maybe not that insane, but it's gonna get insane after a while. They might start trying to hunt foxes and eating their intestines or something like that. It's just gonna get insane. I'm telling you, 2017, 2018, they'll start eating fox intestines and all that. And yeah, it is graphical, but I'm telling you, it is going to get that insane on the internet. It's already insane. I mean, now simulation purposes, there's no that thing. It's either who had the best, and in simulation it's who had the best graphics, or who made it from New York to Beijing in the fastest amount of time, or who didn't smash into the dividers on their way in American Truck Sim from Elko to Winnemucca, or who didn't run it, or who had a CRST trucking trailer mod placed in and didn't run into any CRST trucking trailers. or something like that. Or who was the first to spot a Target trailer and a Swift trailer behind each other? And plus, Swift has a partnership with Target and Walmart. Seems like Swift just takes stuff that's going to be in retail. Target and Walmart and forget what was the other company. Before you know it, they're going to start working for Stop and Shop. Actually, Stop and Shop is just its own company. Same. But yeah, that's just how it's gonna work out. Then you have another thing to worry about. Because there's only two ways, there's only two types of stuff that can happen on YouTube. Gaming stuff and real life stuff. Or it could be fake, but you're still showing it. There are still a lot of videos on YouTube. There are billions of videos. Trillions, probably. And most of them are videos that you're going to see popularity. Simulation is not very popular. The videos that you're going to see millions of views are music videos. Or videos of challenges. For example, I was telling you about Fox intestines. Now, no one's that crazy at the moment. No one's that crazy at the moment to eat something like that. I mean, I don't even think anyone is even gonna think of that until they watch this video and say, "That's a great idea, you're such a genius, I gotta do that." Now, the thing is that the odds of that happening are fairly not significant because it's so original. They're not going to do something original. Oh, whatever. No, they're not. That's not happening. That's too original. I gotta think of something even more original than your original thought. Or they're going to try to not think of original. They're going to try to start thinking of, let's start eating donuts. And instead of filling it up with jelly or Boston cream or something like that, they might start putting... I'm trying to think of what they would put in that. That would just be totally original. They might start putting molasses in donuts instead of Boston cream. Which I'm sure they've already done, but you know what? I'm sure they'd still want to try it. I mean, they don't sell molasses donuts at the next door Dunkin' Donuts or anything like that. They might sell it in a city, but I've never heard of a molasses donut before in my entire life. Another thought that you should think about is, please, if you do not like these eating challenges, you should probably stop watching them. Because I told you, after a while, they're gonna get crazy and they're gonna start maybe killing chickens and then just start eating the whole thing, including the beak. Now, if they were to eat everything, they're probably stuffing a chicken that would probably be poisonous. Like, I don't know what would be in it, and neither would I want to even talk about it because you guys are probably all staring at me with dilated pupils and all that, just watching me right now, sitting here thinking, what is going on? What happened to this kid? What did this kid eat last night? Now, last night was Thanksgiving, and I barely even ate anything, so please don't get started on that. But besides the fact that yesterday was Thanksgiving, today is now Black Friday. Now, another insane day that you could talk about, you're probably thinking to yourself, why didn't you do Christmas shopping since Black Friday yet? Well, I just haven't gotten to thinking about doing another series of Black Friday Simulator. Even though today is Black Friday, and they're just crazy deals. I have never been shopping on Black Friday, or I have, but I'm not used to, and I'm not a regular at it. If we have to do something on Black Friday, then it's just a coincidence. It's not like we're going for a reason. People will go on Thanksgiving night to go shopping just to do it. And then the shopping malls have to be open all night, Thanksgiving night. For me, it was last night, and I'm just sitting there thinking, who wants to go shopping at 4 a.m.? Sure, maybe 6 a.m. I'd go shopping, but not 4 a.m. 4 a.m. not even awake. 4 a.m. I'm still thinking about not waking up. But seriously, that's how crazy it is. And I don't get it. Why do they have to be open all night when I'm sure that most stuff is sold out by 8 o'clock Thanksgiving night? It just makes no sense. Why they have to be open all night? They should have a closing time. Maybe if they're closed from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m., they could restock the shelves from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m., and then those employees can go home and actually sleep. And everything else just works. But speaking of that, I completely forgot to... Come on, I really want to be able to contact some center approach. Apparently, I don't know what's going on. I can't get off this frequency. Let me see if I can do this. I'm trying to get out. Let me just wait a little bit, then maybe it'll disappear. So yeah, that's just stuff that you have to think about for a while. You're gonna have to think about that. So think about what I just told you, and why does it feel like we're not... Are we going west? We're going west. Last 2 times I did this trip, it didn't work. I mean, it wasn't this tree light. Maybe it was, but this is just an illusion. Or something like that. And you're just probably watching me right now thinking, is he gonna accidentally hit this tree? Or something like that, or... You don't know what's gonna happen, but if I'm publishing this on YouTube, I have not hit any trees. I've gotten safely to the destination. You can scrub ahead and then scrub back if you're watching this all the way through to see if it worked. And you'll see that we get to the destination safely. Now, if, forbid, I was to hit a tree along this trip, I would not put this on YouTube, or if we got near our destination, I would just say, you know what, I'm just gonna call it quits. But if we're not even halfway to our destination, I mean, seriously, we are still 75 nautical miles from the destination. If I hit a tree now, you won't see this, but since you're seeing this right now, obviously I didn't hit a tree. So you shouldn't be asking questions, you should just be watching the programming. I'm thinking about lowering my altitude, so I'm cutting the throttle, going into this view because it's a cool view, and plus we can see the speed. And I'm pushing down the yoke, and I'm pulling back up. I'm putting the throttle on 100% for now until we get a little bit higher, and then I'm putting it back on 95. Good. As we cross the state of Louisiana, I will tell you that, yeah, the whole land from Louisiana to, say, Washington State used to be called Louisiana until this bit was only Louisiana. When it was colonized and put as a separate state. The whole land was called Louisiana, but surprisingly, they were still called the Mississippi. Which is just a little bit weird. What's this? I find this interesting. Are we at Interstate 220 in Shreveport? Yep, we are in Shreveport, Louisiana now. This is the junction for I-220 that will go around downtown. The I-20 just goes through downtown pretty much. It's currently 12:17 game time. We are just gating up to Texas. before the Texas hype will begin. I'm just I'm just cutting the throttle and slowly going down so that I can see the road a little bit. Good. So welcome to Shreveport, Louisiana. Folks, please tell me what Shreveport is famous for in the comments. We are not going to New Orleans, but we will be going through Shreveport now, and Bossier City, it's also called, which sounds French, but you know what, Louisiana is technically colonized by the French. Was technically colonized by the French. We're going to be crossing by the Red River fairly soon. Over there, you're going to see is Barksdale Air Force Base. Maybe we'll see a military plane come out of there, if we're lucky. If we're not lucky, then we're just gonna fly on by. There it is, Barksdale Air Force Base. And we'll continue into downtown, currently in Bossier City. Once we cross the Red River, we're technically in downtown. Just trying to find the Red River. As soon as I find it, we'll be able to see that we're in Shreveport, downtown. We're in Shreveport, we're in the suburbs, technically. The Red River, it looks like I can't find it. Don't worry, because we're going to go into this view and find it. Looks like we're coming up on it. Looks like that this is it. Let's see, what is this? This is just a road. Alright, yeah, that's just a road. That's just a road that's going to lead to the golf course. Now, this is just a tiny bit of road where we just make a left, just to go back to the right. Which is why I'm going to go straight down this bit and cut off a little bit of our trip. Just back there, we just passed the Pierre Bossier Mall. Probably crazy over there right now in real life, in real time. But currently, game time, it's August, so technically, it's pretty much just normal day. Probably the lunch rush, because it's about 12:20. Okay, so here's the Red River, and then we just headed to the downtown area. If you'll notice, where is it? If you'll notice, there is the Boomtown Bossier City Hotel, and there's the Horseshoe Bossier Casino and Hotel. Great. Nevada isn't gambling state enough. We now gotta have it in Louisiana too. Yep, there's gambling in Louisiana too. And now we're in downtown Shreveport. Over there is the Brentwood Hospital. Over there is Crockett Street. We'll be headed into the Ledbetter Heights soon. We are now merging with the I-49. Here we're merging with the I-49, which will probably take you to New Orleans, but I don't have the attention right now to figure out if it does. Over there, you'll see is the Shreveport Regional Airport. The call signs it's Kilo Sierra Hotel Yankee. Just over there. We're going to be coming up with the with the Louisiana 3132 fairly soon. There goes an airplane. A Boeing 737 is on final at Shreveport Regional. Sorry if I'm talking fast. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. And I need to make sure that I keep it going so nothing's in the past. 12:22 game time right now in Louisiana. Cruising down. There's some factory. There's the Shreveport Regional. there's an airport plane 5.5 miles away, which in real nautical miles, which in statute miles would be about 7 or 8 miles. Don't know why they have to use different miles for an airplane. They go, just like they have to use different miles, they have to use miles and kilometers. I don't know why they have to do that. I mean, seriously. It's just like, why do we have to speak different languages in every language? Obviously, because it's a part of culture and all that, but seriously. If there's no sense in having miles and kilometers, then there's no sense in having English and Spanish and French and German and all that. It's not because the languages are stupid, it's because languages in general just make everything confusing. And this is the reason why a lot of people don't travel. Which only sucks for them. Not for the people who like to travel. Alright, so whoa. Down here, there's a really confusing junction here. It's not that confusing, actually. It's actually a really easy junction. The fact is that it's really confusing for the following. Here is where I-220 is going to merge in with the I-20, which is here. But then I-220 continues at the LA, Louisiana 3132, which is going to continue into the rest of the suburbs, and eventually merge back with I-49 and head to wherever. I'm going to check where 49 heads now. I-49 only heads to Lafayette, Louisiana, which is nowhere near New Orleans. Probably about 100, 200 miles from it. Maybe not 100 miles, maybe a little less than that. And we are gone. Headed for the border of Texas and Louisiana, which we should get to fairly soon, probably about 5 minutes before we get to the border. How far does it look we are? Zoom in another level. Let me see. Doesn't seem like we're that far. 6, a 6, a 6, a 6, a 6. Yes, so it looks like about 5 minutes to the border. Five more minutes to the border. Then we'll be having Texas hypes going on, the weird accent, and all that. But until then, I'm sure you want to talk more about YouTube and what could be in store for us, but what we need to more talk about is what's in store for simulation. What could happen later on in simulation lives. Just like I told you that in YouTube they might start eating fox intestines. They might, they may not. What's in store for new games? Well, first you have to think about what do they not have that you really want to have. Australian truck simulators. I already told you that Australian truck sim would just be the best. I'd probably want to get it like within a few months of release. I just would say, I want an Australian truck sim. Australian truck sim looks awesome. Looks like the bomb. Hopefully you're not listening to this on an airplane or in an airport. And pretty much that's it. Australian truck sim. Middle Eastern truck sim would also be great. We could drive to well, but here's the thing. Middle Eastern trucking is probably not the same as American trucking or European trucking. I'm not an expert on that, so I shouldn't probably be talking about it. Australian, however, I have heard about it with the road trains and all that. Just driving a road train in Australia would just be great. We could just probably have a 2.5-hour episode, and more people would watch that than the short videos with morals. We could just have 2.5 hours. If that came out, jeez, I don't even want to know. That would just be great. I think it would end the hype for American and European Euro Truck Simulator 2. Because Euro Truck Sim 2 is currently going through a lot. It had a France DLC just coming out, and I haven't gotten it because, first of all, I didn't even figure out how to get Euro Truck back on. Here's another thing. We have an American Truck Sim. The rescale just came out. However, I can't use the rescale yet because the rescale doesn't work on my mods. So we have to wait until my mods work on the rescale, and then we can use the rescale. First of all, I think we have to wait until the rescale is actually released. Now, I don't want to try out the rescale because I'm afraid that it's going to reset my game again, which I don't want. Especially since we're in Vegas right now, and I'm trying to get to Arizona currently. And since just 2 episodes ago, I believe it was 1 or 2 episodes before, we just got sent back to Elko. I don't want to get sent back to Elko again. I want to go back to Arizona already. But yeah, Australian Truck Sim would just be awesome. I don't know how they would deal with the cities and other road trades, and how they would deal with the traffic density and all that. They'd probably just have to have traffic density zones. For example, in the middle of the desert, you're gonna have the odd car just driving by. But in the cities, the road trades, first of all, in the cities, the road trades are probably gonna be separated, and multiple trucks will haul for them. But through cities, you kind of think, well, probably you've got smaller trucks driving the stuff in to the cities. Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, all those cities that you have to think about. But you gotta check out these road trades. Road trades are just plain awesome. Are we in Texas yet? Ladies and gentlemen, we have just crossed into Texas. Texas hype. Yippee, we just entered Texas. No, we accidentally clicked that button. That's not good. We gotta cancel that. And then we gotta click on this. And then we gotta click on this. Yippee, Texas hype. Texas hype. Texas hype. Texas hype. Woohoo, yeah, yeah, yeah. We all know we're in Texas, so now we're gonna stop the Texas hypes and just enjoy the scenery of Texas. We still have a while to go through Texas as we go through the town of Wascom, Texas. We're gonna be coming up onto Marshall soon, so we should pretty much be watching out for there. Let's enjoy this view for a short amount of time. Let me see some of the airports nearby. No, that's not a good view. We gotta get out of that view. That's not a safe view. That's gonna make us think we're going that way, and it's gonna suck really bad. So my arm is now in a little pain from holding the yoke, so I'm gonna see how long I can spend without holding the yoke. Alright, this plane seriously is not going to help me at all, so we're just gonna have to keep it moving at the pace it's going. So that must have just been a lot of information that we just went through as we just crossed through Louisiana. A lot of information about this, what could happen on YouTube, what could happen in simulators. Then we have to think about what's going to happen in the name of Cars. Not the movie, but the car models. What are they going to start doing? I do not trust self-driving cars at all. Self-driving cars look more like garbage than the Starburst wrapper that someone just threw on the ground in New York City 2 seconds ago. Where I'm not in New York City, but someone must have thrown a Starburst wrapper somewhere in New York City. Self-driving cars do not need to replace humans in driving. Humans are so good at driving. What? Self-driving cars. Before you know it, now, the thing is about self-driving cars is that the world is going to be too warm for human life in about 250-300 years. So by the year 2250, I said that, should be the year that everything's going to start burning down. Deserts are going to be uninhabitable by the end of the century. I'll be dead by then, I'm sure. And sure, all you viewers will be dead by then. Unless you're watching this in 2050, then you might not be. That is why you should just probably just make sure that self-driving cars are expected to come out to the market 2025. Self-driving trucks are going to replace trucks in 2025. And that's not good, because trucks are responsible for all of the economy, and just except for the planes and boats and delivery vans that bring stuff everywhere. Other than that, it's trucks that bring everything around. The turkey that you ate last night at Thanksgiving, the spaghetti and meatballs that you had 3 weeks ago would not have been, or the fresh table that you got at IKEA the other day, you wouldn't have gotten that table or anything if it weren't for, look at every one of those trucks down there. They deliver stuff because some people don't have time to drive all the way out to Iowa to get corn every morning. For me, Iowa is a 17-hour drive. Getting corn from Iowa, where I live, is like saying that I'm gonna go all the way to New York City just to get a salami sandwich, which I don't even like to eat. Or it's like, say you're gonna go to Italy or you're gonna go to California, just Napa Valley, just to pick a grape off a freaking tree so that you can bring it all the way back home to put it in your special boiler, and you know what you would do. But exactly. Now, in other cases, that's the reason why truck drivers drive around, because are you serious that you're going to drive all the way to... Siri got activated again. Are you sure that you want to drive all the way to Vermont just to go to a forest, or to go all the way to Alabama? Alabama has some pretty big forests. To go to there just to grab some wood? No, instead, someone else is going to bring wood for you. Guess what? Truck driver Phil will bring it to you instead. And that's a good thing. You see all those trucks around you? Why are you so scared of trucks? Trucks, even though trucks may not be better drivers, they're probably 5 times more experienced than you are at driving. All the stress is probably the reason why they're such horrible drivers, if they are a horrible driver, which most of them are not. And if a truck driver is a bad driver, it's still getting things safely to you. You could be passing by a ShopRite truck or something so that everyone can understand. Or Smith's is another grocery chain in the West. You could get that, and you could see that kind of truck, a Smith's truck, or a Stop and Shop, or a ShopRite, or what other kind? Or I heard of this giant shopping franchise too. You see that truck, and you're probably thinking, it's a truck on the road. Who knows? 2 days later, you could go to the supermarket. That truck might have had the loaf of bread that you wanted to get 2 days later at the supermarket. You don't know that. But that's what the truck driver is for. To drive stuff to you. Because truck drivers work for every week that they spend driving. For every business week that they spend driving, okay, how about this? For every 2 business weeks that they're driving, they get to spend 2 days at home. So every 1 business week, they're spending a day at home. But this may not happen. Instead, truck drivers might be out for 2 months, or 5 months even, and then they go home for a week or 2, and then they go back. Now, this isn't like the office job where you get to go home for the weekend. No, most truck drivers have to drive throughout the whole weekend. Now, over the weekend, most of the trucks that are on the roads are long-distance trucks, probably going cross-country. The most trucks on a weekend are actually not Saturday. Saturday is probably when the least amount of trucks are on the road. It's actually going to be Sunday night when all the trucks are on the road. Sunday is the day when most of the trucks are on the road. And you're probably thinking, no, isn't Sunday the day with the least amount of trucks on the road? Well, if you thought that, you're wrong, because I know that because I found out that that's not the case. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's really actually logical. We are 30 nautical miles away, and we have not contacted anybody yet. I just want to get off of this frequency. Good. Of course. Let's see what they say. This has really been a fast episode. This has been a really quick episode. Let me see, so we are going to... Traverse Land, there it is. Travelstead. We are going to be landing on runway... What'd we set it to? Thought we set the wind to about... Oh, I forgot. That's not good at all. I'm gonna guess that it was about... Gonna guess the winds are about... Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's about here. Or east from it. Let me see. Let me see, where is this place located? We're pretty much on the path, so I'm not going to necessarily go too far off the interstate. Let me just pause. Nah, I'm not going to do it. Hold on, what was the place called? Let me click on back. I'm back. Called Trap Travel Stead. Let me just pause the game and figure out where that is. Trap Travel Stead. Let me see where that is. It's over here. It's right by the highway. It's actually not, but you get what I mean. We're just gonna follow the highway since we're such along that route. I guess we'll just follow it. But we're way too high up, so we're gonna just nearly bail out, but then gain speed. Alright. Plus, it's gonna be on the left side, not the right side anyway. We're just gonna follow the interstate most of the way, the rest of the way, even though it's still quite a distance, and I'm just gonna put the throttle up. It says we're about 10 minutes away anyway. Just gonna be a little bit quiet as I solve a couple problems. Alright, so silence for a little bit more. Alright, so silence over for now. Let me see here. Still got 20 nautical miles remaining along the trip. Just gonna follow the highway. Goes pretty much straight the rest of the way. Except up there it goes off from the straight that we're on. Probably turn off there. Let me just see first of all. What does it say? Nah, it says that the path is pretty much along this interstate, so we'll just follow it a little more. We get closer to Winona. What is the game time? 12:47. Temperature 73 degrees. That's a nice temperature. It's gonna get hotter. It's August. We're gonna be in the desert in a couple episodes, maybe one episode, if we're lucky. I think we're currently in Marshall, but I can't be sure. Doesn't seem like we're that. Yeah, what is this? Kilo Golf. Doesn't look like it'd be Marshall. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Soon as the road diverts a little to the right, I'm gonna probably have to divert from the highway. As you can see. It's gonna go a little bit to the right over here. See if I can follow the cursor. Yep, there. It goes that way. Not necessarily gonna divert here. Well, now it's saying where we're gonna be landing, so it looks like it says over there. Let me just study the pattern quickly before we can get to figure out it. Turn a little bit to the right at this point. Yep, let's divert from the highway at this point. Diverting from the highway now. Just keep going this direction. It says currently 5 more minutes before arrival. So let me just go back into this view, and everything should be good. The bare tree that we have here, no leaves on it at all. That's a shame. At least the tree is cool in the warm summer heat. You can still see the continuation of the highway over there. That must be a road down there, but I'm not on the map, on the phone map, so we're not going to be able to figure out what road that is. Let me check out the distance we have left before arrival. 9 nautical miles, 4 minutes before arrival. Highway still continuing down this way. It's just gonna continue going straight. See if I can see the field that we're landing in. Trap travel stead. Let's say that we're just coming in again. We're coming in from the west, so it's going to be an easy landing. Even though we have to kind of land kind of in a southwest way. So I'm going to try to turn away from the airfield slightly. This way, I meant. There, that's good enough. Where is it from where I am? Where is it? Alright, there goes the highway. It's very soon about to escape from our vision altogether. Bye-bye, highway. We'll see you again. Just the two random buildings that you just get generated on the side of the road. Still try to find the airfield. Still try to see where it says we're still located. Try to find the runway, but it's not giving us that information. It's just telling us where the place is located. We'll soon figure it out. I believe that's it over there. So I'm just gonna make another slight turn to the right. We're gaining on it. We're less than a minute from the arrival airport. So pretty soon I'm going to put up the flaps. Put down the flaps, I mean. I'm sure this is it. So I'm not putting down the flaps just yet because we're still too far away at this point. Let me see. Where does it say there's a 240 relationship with the airport? Oh shoot, I think we came on the wrong side of the airfield. I think we're gonna have to... I think I completely bombed that. I was thinking northwest. Now we have to completely divert because I lost my sense of direction. Closer to the highway at least. At least the highway isn't gone forever. Yeah, there it is over there. So now down go the flaps. There's the highway over there. Here go the flaps. Now I'm gonna put back this view. And I'm just pretty much gonna bang it down, lose some altitude. I'm gonna put down the what you call it, throttle as well. I'm gonna make a turn in. Then this should be a 240 relationship. There isn't a 240 relationship here, which is not good. Means we have to go this way. I see the 240 relationship being this way, but I can't find it going this way, so just gonna think of going. I think I'm just gonna land on this big strip of land and just wing it. Let's just do that. Alright, let's just do that instead. Because I don't see where the runway is. I don't see any trees that are gonna block us. We could also just land on this bit, because we know that this bit's a runway. So let me just quickly pause and go into this view, so I can see. So that we're not making the... yeah, we didn't give enough room for this, so... Of course, guess what happens? Just quickly land it. Never mind. Go around, 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 go around. We'll land somewhere else. Oh shoot, this is not good. Pause it. Put up the flaps quickly. Oh no, this isn't good. This is not gonna end good. This episode is gonna be a disaster if we can't get this thing up in the air. Thank heavens we got it in the air. So now we're gonna go around quickly, lower the throttle, and land. Where are we gonna land, you might ask? Okay, I don't know where we're gonna land. We're just gonna land on the grass. No way I'm gonna just find some. Throttle goes down, and so are we. Alright, we're just gonna land, even though that's a runway over there. I don't know where the runway we're gonna land on is. Alright, we'll just park right here. Alright, flaps up, throttle's cut, lights off, fuel pump off, master switches off, avionics off, engine off. Everything's now off, including the engine. So I wish that for you, a very nice episode. We have now entered the state of Texas. Now it's just going to be a really long time before we can even leave the state of Texas. Because Texas is a huge state. It's the hugest state in the continental 48. But Alaska's bigger than Texas. More than twice the size. But anyway, that's the end of this episode. Welcome to Winona, Texas. Just a little west of Tyler and Longview. That should be it for this episode. In the next episode of Cross Country Flight, we shall continue west on I-20 through Texas. Into Dallas, I believe, is the city, but I don't remember. I think it was Dallas, but I forget at this point. Let me just check to see if it was Dallas or not. I-20 continues into Dallas, Fort Worth, and then it just goes into everywhere. We'll probably make it into Dallas next episode, if we're lucky. But that's it for this episode. Let me just get another plane view in. I'll see you next episode of anything that happens. Anyway, let me just put on next. It says 12:59:47, so I'm gonna just put that on the record. Just right now, I'm going to put on the record so that we don't forget. And everything's off, so I will see you for the next episode. It's not going to be Euro Truck unless some miracle happens, but I'll see you for the next episode of whatever. If Euro Truck happens to happen, then that's what happens. But if not, I'll still see you Sunday for another episode of whatever we need to do.